Hey everyone, today I'm going to once again be talking about KH1 and all the cool details it contains. But for this video I'm going to be focusing on one world in particular. It's perhaps the most richly detailed world in the entire series. And yeah, the video title would have given us away already, but I'm talking about Traverse Town. Or I guess Traverse Town? I've always said it's the former, but the characters in-game seem to say the latter. That's probably just a thing about my accent and how I pronounce things. But regardless, this is an incredibly important world to the series. Located in the realm between, it acts as a kind of refugee home for those whose worlds are no longer in the realm of light. For example, in the first game, the worlds have been destroyed by the Heartless, so people end up in Traverse Town. And this is the first world Sora ever visits outside Destiny Islands. And as such, it's got a huge lasting legacy on the series. It's appeared multiple times. But I'm not here to talk about story. Instead, I'm going to talk about world design and details and secrets and that sort of thing. So let's visit the town in-game. We'll take a look around and point out all the things that make this an amazing world. Okay, so let's begin this kind of tour of Traverse Town, I guess. And of course we're going to start in the first district, and right behind me now is the world entrance / exit. And I think this is really cool, by the way, because most worlds you just leave through a save point. So to actually have like an exit you can actually go through, I think only this and maybe Olympus have world exit like this. And it's even got see you again soon. I don't know, there's something really cool about that. And of course we go further out, we can see like there's a gate, there's a whole like fence around the world. Now that's interesting because I do wonder what's like outside the town. I'm guessing if we look at like the Merlin's place, then it's probably just like rocks and stuff. It doesn't look like there's much in the way of like natural scenery. But yeah, let's just look at the first district and you can already see how cozy this place is. We're at night time, of course. We've got all these like cozy lights, different colors, a lot of oranges, so quite a warm, nice orange contrast with that blue sky. And then we've got all sorts of neon lights you see on the shops there. Lots of yellows, purples even some greens here and there. I really like that vibe, that nighttime glow. Of course, cities, they always look better at night, and this is a town, but it's not really any exception. I think Traverse Town at day, well, it would still look nice because they're like Victorian. Oh, hi, Goofy. It still look nice because of the like aesthetic, but it's the lights that really make it. And then even look at the stars. I mean, they're not the highest like quality things ever, of course. It's an old game, and even remastered, these still look pretty stretched. But it's just nice. It's just warm. I don't know. It makes you feel really at home, which is what the whole point of this world is. But of course we've got these NPCs too. We can go and talk to this guy here. I already mentioned him in my Creepy Things video. He's the guy that appears multiple times. And then we've got this kid who's kind of like a weird mirror to Sora. He's also lost from his home. But unlike Sora, he's not an adventurer. He's just a kid, you know. Oh, and of course the Moogles all end up here from the Final Fantasy worlds. Perhaps Hollow Bastion is one. As you can see, these NPCs aren't really that necessary, but it's nice that they're there to give a sense of place. To feel like this town doesn't just exist because of you, this town exists for any refugees to come from any worlds. And this little cafe, really cozy as well, really nice. Of course, one of the mechanics that everyone remembers, these self-lighting candles, you have to use Blizzard on. Unfortunately we can't go inside, but if we could go inside every building then this would be a huge world. And over here there's like a completely barren bit. Feels like they might have put something there maybe, but they didn't. But it makes sense they didn't like invisible wall block it off. There's no reason to go there, but it would feel a bit weird if you just got blocked off by a wall. It wouldn't feel very natural. And the whole point of this place is to feel natural. Like everywhere here feels like a real place that you're in, not just a level that's designed around you. And I think that's a key thing about KH1's worlds. You even got like mailboxes like that, which are just obviously normal ones. But then you've got these weird zany looking mailbox. And that also kind of represents Traverse Town. You've got normal looking stuff, Victorian sort of glowy aesthetics. But then you've got weird looking, crazy zany stuff. And let's go in the item shop because there's some of that in here. Now in here we've got, of course, something I mentioned already, these scales that go up when you step on them. I only recently learned about that, fun mechanic. And then on the walls we've got all sorts of random details that don't really mean anything. But I just like how they just drew whatever they wanted and stuck it on the wall. Because it would feel bare without it. You wouldn't notice it. But when you actually think about it, while you don't really look at these things, just having them there just fills out the space a bit more. I just like how weirdly designed. Like, what is that picture frame? What is the shape? What's going on there? Why are there random triangles? Who knows? But There's more over that wall as well, which is pretty nice. We'll have a look at these two. That's got to be like a Steamboat Willie reference, I'm assuming, like Riverboat, come on. And then that looks like a slice of bread mirror there. Kind of creepy looking picture with a like portrait of someone in it, but it's just a shadow. Slightly disturbing. Can't tell what that one there is. Kind of looks like a ship maybe, not really sure. But then underneath that we've got these like mirrors. Like why are there these strange useless mirrors here? Like who knows? But they don't need to be anything. They just need to, at a glance, seem like there's something there. And the designers can have fun and just make whatever they want, basically. Just draw random stuff. I think that's quite neat. On the back here is quite nice to see because there's a lot of foodstuffs. And this is the item shop. It's not just for you to get your potions. This is where people of Traverse Town come to get things like food, like essentials. But I think that's pretty neat to see these low, like, polygon count food items. And then there's a little note. I don't think it's got any like actual writing, because that at glance does look like there's actual writing on there, like some fancy script. But no, that's just squiggles. But you know, cash register to sort of represent the more modern kind of thing going on in Traverse Town, because it is a mix of old-fashioned but with modern stuff like electronics. And there's a nice low rendered picture there. And yeah, that's like most of the main stuff in this room. I don't know, it's just super cool. Like there's another one. Look at that nice little, maybe like a lake scene or a seaside scene. Can't quite tell, but looks like a nice place to retire to. Oh, and don't forget there's welcome sign out front as well. But that's enough of the item shop. Let's go back outside. Now I want to draw attention to something here. There's like scribbles on the walls. So these kind of look like they're maybe like lists, like item lists, which makes sense for the item shop. But I do like how they're just scribbled on with chalk. I don't know if like the people who own it did that or if that's random graffiti. It doesn't exactly look like graffiti. But over here, this does look like graffiti because that's just a little boat. Looks like some kids just drawn with chalk. It feels like stuff's happened here, you know? And even here, look at this. This poster's ripped up. Like it's torn up. Something's happened. It's not just placed there. And then there's these two posters too. I like the ship one, by the way. I think that's pretty cool. And there's a weird like theme with ships here. I don't know why. Oh, and over there, of course, we've got the alleyway, which we'll visit a little bit later. But there's the connection you can get to there with the Red Trinity. You know, reason to go back to the world. You know, you go back, the Trinity opens up new paths. Here we got this random, like, smiley face emoji. I don't know, outside of Sid's, like, shop. Again, one of the weird aspects, one of the weird nonsensical things, but it's a cool detail. And here we get a postcard, but of course I've already done it, so we can't get it again, just as empty. But it's nice you can still interact with it, right? And see that it's empty. It's not just like, oh, I can't interact with it because I got the postcard already. I think, while it doesn't really mean anything, I think that's kind of important in terms of making you feel like you've progressed. But yeah, over here we've got, I like this, by the way. There's like speakers, or like announcement things, megaphones, I don't know. Again, a little bit of like technology, a bit of advancement in a town that looks old but is more refined than you think. And I wonder what sort of announcements he's even made in those, if any. I don't know. And here we have the Synth workshop. I think we'll go in there next. But just look at how like tatty this is and how it looks like it's just been built and not furnished or like not properly built. I don't know. Inside looks kind of the same too, with all the wood on the walls. Here we get a postcard. Just looks like some Synth notes. Can't really tell what it's meant to be. It's just scribbles basically, but from a distance it sells it. Like it looks like, okay, yeah, that looks like a certificate though, I'd say. That looks like maybe like a certificate for doing something. I don't know. Like maybe they've got a diploma in synth, these Moogles. Oh, and this candle actually, this is the same, or at least it relights like the ones outside the restaurant. It's the same like object, I guess. And you can't even target it, see, like, so it's probably the same thing. That's pretty neat because I'm pretty sure it relights. I can't really fire it. Yeah, okay, there we go. It relights. That's quite cool, actually, even though it's a reused object. I think that's kind of cool. Especially since Traverse Town is so neon, and then you have like candles, and it's like, oh, so we still got candles, but they relight magic. It's a bit strange. Oh, and here's some more synth notes. This looks like maybe like how items are composed. Similar sort of thing here. We've got a pie chart up there. That's pretty cool. A little bit of add a little bit of math to the world. And then these two, I can't really tell what they are, but there's a crown, Kingdom Hearts and Crowns, you know, they're just scribbles, but I just like to think some designer was just scribbling all sorts of stuff and just put that into the game. Oh, and the forge as well. Now this is what I'd expect a synth forge to look like. Like if you're making metallic things, you know, you're making things like jewelry and keychains, it's gonna look pretty metal, and it's got like magic stuff as well. You got those like bubbles going up, a little bit of alchemy. It makes a lot more sense than just a Moogle in his little bubble, like in Cage 2 and 3. Like it's just a Moogle in his cylinder and he conjures stuff. And they're forging stuff in there, guys. I don't know, I think it's pretty cool. I just like how wacky it looks too. And of course we can talk to them. There only needed to be one, but there's 3. There's him referencing the Master Synth thing I talked about in my other video. And yeah, I've already made everything, of course, but I know this room, it really sells it. Again, it sells that you're in a synth workshop. And then downstairs, and this makes sense because they make accessories. Guess what we got downstairs? The accessory shop. Now you can actually see a lot of stuff on display, but also stored. Like in here, there's some jewelry stored in boxes. That's pretty cool. And there's more behind the desk, of course. And over here is like the pride of the shop, like advertising the synth shop upstairs. Hey, you can make crystals like this. And even Sora's like, wow, a crystal. I just find that quite funny. And there's, oh look, there's a crown there as well. That's pretty cool. I'd like to be able to equip that. And then over here we've got actual like displays of things you can buy. And even just like stars and the moon and stuff in the sky like behind it. It's very, very gimmicky, but it's quite charming in its own way. And this is a bit more of a professional looking display case here with the actual jewelry. We've got like necklaces and some rings and like maybe earrings. Those I think they're earrings. Some of them look quite big and unwieldy. And yes, I am the one. A nice bit of world interconnectivity there where he actually mentions what you've done in another world. Yes, we have seen you before, you creepy weird guy. But there's not too much else in here. If I go up here, you can see there's little like patterns. These are just everywhere in Traverse Town, just random patterns. They're just stuck all over the place. Yeah, there's more on the ceiling too. Look at that. Do they mean anything? No, not really. But they just make it seem like there's not all just built at once. This world like shifts and changes, which it does, which is what they've confirmed it does. And then even a bit of interactivity with the fireplace here, which you also need to get a postcard, of course. And burning brightly, like, yeah, we can see that, but you know, it's just a nice little pop-up there. But let's go outside and we can actually see the benefit of this. So here's I like how there's like even pointy gloves, like again, more sort of just zany stuff going on, not just east and south, but actual like fingers pointing. Oh, and then on the opposite side of that, look at these chains, man. That's pretty metal. Like, what the hell? Like, they do not want you getting in there, or they don't want someone getting out. Oh, no, I think it's the former. And look at this, even a menu. We've got bottled drinks, dessert waffles, snacks, ice cream, hot dogs, baked potatoes, pizza. Hey, that's, you know, I mean, I'll go for the pizza, definitely. And then probably, maybe dessert waffles, that'd be kind of nice. I can't really tell what the numbers are. It looks like a lot of 8s, like 88, 85, 50, 88, 48, 85, 80, and 86 or something. Can't quite tell those prices, but I like that's in English and not just scribbles, by the way. That's actually kind of cool. And then we've got this box here, which you could use to jump up to the top of the accessory shop if you couldn't quite make it yourself. So, like, you know, you can jump on there. You can jump yourself onto there, and that's with high jump. Like, I can unequip high jump. This is how you'd be at the start of the game, obviously. And it's not, like, the easiest to do, but it is doable. Ah, come on. See, now I can't do it when I need to. There we go. So yeah, you can get up there. But if you want to use this, you can do that too, you know. And you can actually make it over the other side. Doesn't seem like you can, but you can get this postcard really early. So I think that's pretty cool. There's another random symbol. And what is that? Let's put high jump back on because we want to make sure we can explore a little bit more over here. So we can't jump on chimneys, unfortunately, because they just get blown off. I mean, it makes sense. It's probably very hot coming out of that fire. And did you see that clock back there as well? That weird, like, funky shape. That was quite strange. Oh, and yeah, you can glide on top of this. I think this is cool. Like, there's no reason to do it, but you can. They're not blocking off with an invisible wall. You can glide up here and get a nice view of the first district. Exploring even without reward, it just feels kind of nice. And I noticed this before. You can just, the physics goes a little bit weird if you glide to this to this roof here. Oh, that's quite funny. And here's another NPC. He just loves the Dalmatians. And again, he mentions Dalmatians. You think, oh, okay, there's Dalmatians? What? Like, and then you find them, you know, in the world in a different district. And here we are in Geppetto's house. His is just full of more old stuff, you know, clocks. But then that green thing kind of looks like a voltmeter or something. I'm not quite sure. Oh god, I think the ticking noise would drive me insane in here. Just like, oh my god, there's so much ticking. I could not live in here. But he's also a gummy guy, of course. Look at him designing his gummy stuff there. Just, it makes it feel like he really is designing it. He's not just an NPC telling you he does. Look at these huge binders as well. Like, dude, he's come along and he's just gone crazy. I mean, Sid, I'm not sure how Sid feels about like a rival business, the rival gummy business coming in. But yeah, his and of course this doesn't appear until later on in the game, and they don't just stuff the characters in another place. They give him his own house, which was just an empty space you could run around before. Just progression. I feel like it just, worlds need that in order to feel real and not stagnant, I guess. Oh yeah, just a note about sound design. It's very important to get the Foley right on games, so like walking around on this, it just sounds like concrete or like stone. But that sounds like grass, even though it's just a tiny area of grass. They made sure it sounds like it to sell it, otherwise there'd be a disconnect in your brain, even if you didn't properly notice it. Oh, and those mossy walls are cool too. It just makes it seem old, you know, it doesn't seem like this is freshly built or anything. Like, gives it an aged feeling, you know. I think it's important to do that. There's even like cracks in the walls in some places. You'll see that in the second district. And there's 3 bells for the Traverse Town bell. Another neat detail. There's actually a couple of extras I found when I went back here, so you can shuffle along this wall, which I think is pretty neat. Because, I mean, they put that, like, trigger to make you shuffle along it in there. And another one is, if we go up here again, and we can actually glide across on top of Geppetto's house. Now, I just slide down it because it's not a steel roof, and again, I can't get on this chimney, which I think is a shame because there's no smoke coming out of this chimney, so it makes more sense. But, I mean, I guess you could also fall down it, like Soro can definitely fit in there. Again, there's no reason to be on this roof, but an invisible wall blocking it would seem pointless when there are actual walls stopping me from going to places I shouldn't. Like, why have an invisible wall here? Like, why can't I just glide across here? Well, I can, but in other games I feel like you wouldn't be able to. They need to give you that freedom, I think, to sell a place to you, to make it feel real. And finally, I just want to shout out to this little flickering light. I just like the effect going on there. Nothing else to say about that, but I think I've covered pretty much everything here in the first district. So yeah, let's move on to the second. Alright, second district time. Obviously, this is initially overrun with Heartless, so it's not got quite as many details as the first. It is more of a battle arena designed place, but there's still some nice stuff to look at. So here's another kind of like modern aspect, like this grate, this grill, kind of like a garage door. I think that's another nice like addition of modernness. And then the whole like vista of the second district, I don't know, there's the whole look of it. There's so many colors going on, and this glow, again, this neon glow just makes it look so nice. There's another chain door there. We have the hotel, which we're going to go in a little bit, but you can see there's more like upstairs in the hotel, which we can't visit, unfortunately. I wish we kind of could, but of course we don't want to go. We don't want to be everywhere. And over here we've got some shops like a shoe shop. Sora can't wear those on his giant feet though. I don't think. Hats and dresses and like even a little tie and bow tie. It's just kind of cute. And I'll show you some more. But there's almost looks like a Santa outfit. I gotta say that red suit. This, which is probably a Mad Hatter reference. Of course, he doesn't appear in the game. He's got a reference in Wonderland, but there's another one if you want one. Another shirt and some like bags and stuff here too. Just feels like if the Heartless weren't here, you know, people would be coming here and shopping at the night time and, you know, sitting on these benches down here just having a nice time. Feels like, I mean, even though it's not a real world, I'd kind of want to live here. If it wasn't always night, I think it'd be a pretty nice place to, well, definitely a nice place to come visit for sure. So let's run on over to the Gizmo Shop. I just want to draw attention to one thing. Well, for a start, let's look at this mural. I don't know, this whole place looks like a church. You know, it's a Gizmo Shop. It's got stained glass. It's got this mural here, like stonework. And it's got these candles, but they're actually electric flickering candles. So you wouldn't be putting those out with Blizzard for sure. I guess we'll have a look in the Gizmo Shop. But again, just look at this. I don't know. It's got the same roofing, Traverse Town. From the top, it probably looks all quite similar. But there's so much going on. So many colours, so many lights. I really do enjoy it, I gotta say. And then here in the Gizmo Shop, well, this is just crazy. This is like the craziest part of Traverse Town. This is just stuff everywhere. We've got like all these noises going on, which it would sound weird if they weren't there because of how much machinery is in here. You'd expect a lot of noise. We've got like random bird pictures. We've got these strange like wobbly textures, which I find quite fun. This rotating gears and stuff. In the corners, by the way, here's a nice detail. There's like suits of cards, so like the spades, diamonds. There's more over the other side as well, so we'll just get over there quickly. Yep, there's a heart. And then over there's clubs, and there's some like others as well from the same suits. And then even this like wire. Does it need to be here? Not really, but you know, again, it's selling that this is like a workshop, just a place with full of machinery and electronics and maybe powers the town. I feel like it does because of the pipe we see in the 3rd district. And of course that pipe is needed to activate a way to get the postcards here. There's some like deer or reindeer or something on those. Why? Who knows? There's like smiley faces, kind of creepy to be honest, but well, why not, I guess. And here of course we have a way to get 2 postcards, this clock, which is interestingly stuck at 6:54. And you can see it is stuck at 6:54, and I do wonder why. Like, why that time? Did they just choose it at random? Like, is there a reason for it? I doubt there's an actual like law reason for it, but the person who came up with that, what was their reason for it? The little stories like that I always like to imagine when I'm in Traverse Town, just thinking, you know, what could be the story behind this? What could be the story behind that? It gets you thinking. It's not just a set of arenas. That's the important thing, I think. Of course, if you're like me, that is. If you like looking at world design and secrets and stuff, then you get thinking about it. Other people might not care, but this video is definitely for people like me, or if you just haven't seen a lot of this stuff. I can imagine like workers in the Gizmo Shop coming here and just chilling out, putting their legs over the edge, you know, just like chilling out on a lunch break, if they have a lunch break at night time, however that works. And then at the top, of course, we have the bells, and down there we have the keyhole, which changes. I already mentioned that in my cool details video. And another really nice view from up here, actually. And, you know, just showing the 3 bells, you've got to ring it 3 times. The weird, like, lore significance of why Traverse Town has that system, who built it. I gotta say, it's kind of creepy that it's just darkness back there. Like, is there a wall, or is that just, like, you can't get back there because it's so dark? I don't know, that's slightly scary. And then we can ring the bell again. There's like no reason to. It doesn't do anything, but we can do it because taking it out would just be kind of like, oh, I want to ring it again, you know. Random boxes are just stored with stuff, I assume, that's somehow gone up here. And yeah, even like if we look again at the whole like church looking aspect, and there's a clock, by the way, stuck at 6:54. No, that's pretty cool. Stuck at the same time. Nice attention to detail, whoever did that. Gotta give him props for that. But this whole thing is just, I don't know, it's like a church, but wacky. But it's not a church or a cathedral or anything. It's a Gizmo Shop, or it's like a workshop, or it's something that powers the town. You know, you got to think like, what could all this mean? Oh, I want to go over. Oh, did you see that? I can see the outside of the world. Oh, that's weird. Ah, no. I wish I could get on top of that. Oh, damn. Now we're down here again. I need to make my way back up again. Alright, I'll go and do that first. Okay, we're back up. And let's just meander over here, the last little place we can really visit here. As in those side alleys, which lead to the 3rd district and stuff. But here, of course, leads to the balcony in the 3rd district, which Dawn and Goofy are in. You've got to get a postcard there too. You can kind of be where a cutscene happened. I think that's really cool. Trying to like see the outside, but they have built it very like rigidly, so you can't see that there's nothing out there. They didn't just use invisible walls to achieve that, and this game doesn't let you jump too high like other games do, so it's less necessary. Well, next up I think we should go into the hotel, because there's definitely some interesting stuff in there. Alright, so here we are. We're at the staff side already. And here's like staff only. This is, I guess, how you can get upstairs. I don't know. Like, I kind of want to see what's in there. And here's the front desk. And even like the guides, which, yes, I just realized it says they're holding a multicultural art exhibit. We hope you enjoy. That's why paintings are great, guys. Because they're promoting them. They're doing an exhibit. Traverse Town doesn't have a museum, so I guess we're just gotta promote it with that. And there's the person at a desk saying no vacancy. Is there no vacancy? Because 2 of your rooms are empty. More like there's Heartless about and you don't want us in. Here we have one of the paintings, the Autumn Dusk. Very much looks like a Bob Ross painting or something, I gotta say. Nice that they named them, by the way. They're not just decorations on the wall, but there's an art exhibit going on, so you can see what the names of the paintings are, right? It makes complete sense, but it's just a nice thing they put in there. They really didn't have to. And over here we have Midsummer Dawn, by the way, dawn and dusk thing. And there's him being creepy. Why did you pull the curtain back and say that? You didn't do that for no vacancy. That's just weird. That always weirded me out, and it still does. But now we know it's because they have an art exhibit, so they're just promoting that, I guess. Let's have him tell us why he said that. Paintings are great. If you ever stayed a night, try hitting the clock. Thank you. At least he does give us a reason to do a puzzle, I guess. Again, like, you could probably find out that puzzle on your own, but they hint you to do that, and you're like, okay, does that mean anything? Oh wait, there's a clock, yeah, in this room. And then you do it. That's how you design a world, guys. That's I can't say it enough. It's nice looking at these other rooms. Room 3, or the yellow room, I guess, kind of has like a western vibe going on. There's a cactus, like oil lamps. And then over here we have an ocean room, the blue room. There's fish lights and a coral reef, and wow, I mean, that's obviously sea-based. I kind of wish we could go into those as well and see what they look like inside, because I think they'd be quite interesting. But it makes you feel like there is a room there, even though in-game there isn't. You feel like there is. And then room 2 here, the green room, is pretty basic, normal Traverse Town style. In contrast, we've got this red room, which is a more Chinese-themed room. You can see the yin-yang up there. And if we go inside, we just got to take care of some Heartless, though, because I didn't already do this, so let's get rid of them. And yes, so look at this room. This is a lavish room, I gotta say. It's probably pretty expensive. I mean, we got, like, I don't know if they're actual, like, language. I don't know if it's actual language or if it's kind of made up. I'm really not an expert on that. But, look, I don't know. This red room is so cool. Like, dragons and shit. We got, like, these Chinese lanterns here. That's super cool. The whole vibe. Like, this is a themed room. It's a hotel with themed rooms. I think that's neat. And we got these little pots, this stool. Over here, some more like normal stuff, like a clock there. Just a normal, even that looks like an omega. That's kind of fun. And then if we look at like the bed, now this is the real. Let's look at this bed. That's a fancy bed right there. I mean, look at this. This fucking dragon. This is so cool. This is the room I'd want, especially since it's red, and I like red and stuff too. I always wonder if there's this, like, a kind of meant to be a Mulan thing going on here, because remember, Traverse Town's kind of made from the worlds that, not made from them, but it suits the needs of people who've lost their world. So the Land of Dragons may have been lost, and this room's trying to replicate it. Who knows? And here's the clock puzzle. Obviously, we can keep turning that if I can actually hit it, which I apparently can. But yeah, I've already got the chest from that, so that's fine. But more painting exhibits here. Bald Mountain. Obviously a reference. Midday Jungle, probably a Deep Jungle reference, which is even in the game anyway. And over here too, we have this one, 6 o'clock in the past, time flies. I don't really know what this is referring to, like the past thing is interesting. 6 o'clock, I don't know what the picture's meant to be. If you know about that, like, please tell me, because I'd love to know if that's actually a reference to something. But there's all sorts of little details. Definitely a more understated room though. Like that bed is obviously not as fancy as the one we were just in. Everything here is a bit more standard Traverse Town style. I guess it's a double bed. Hard to tell because Sora's so small. And green room, probably less expensive than the red room. You can draw these conclusions, right, from just being there. if they even have to pay in Traverse Town. Who knows? Do they even pay for things? I mean, they pay for things in the shops. Do they pay for rooms in the hotel? Like, all these questions you can ask yourself just based on the details they put in there. I suppose it's time to look at the alleyway now. I guess it's technically part of the second district. Oh, we got more enemies to get rid of. Okay, I'm just going to get rid of these. Okay, so the balconies and the rooms is quite interesting. For a start, look at those colours up there. Like, that is... You could say it's garish, but somehow it kind of works. I think just because the whole vibe of Traverse Town just being a mesh and muddle of all sorts of things. And there's even these little rings. Like, what is that design? Who knows? Red room, like, from the outside as well, you can see that it's which room it is. Like, it has that door, of course it would. It looks like that on the other side. Green room's pretty normal, standard looking, of course. And then the yellow room, or room 3. Again, we've got the cactus going on. We've got the western theme. I really would... Oh, I'd love to see what's inside that room. And blue, the ocean room again. From this side, even a little dolphin there. So, again, it's important to like have that consistency between the inside and the outside, I think. And otherwise, here's the alley. Like, not too much in here. We've got, again, random crates and stuff because, of course, it's Traverse Town. I liked how that bounced off Goofy's head. But I guess you could use this crate to get over there. Not that there's much use when you don't have Red Trinity to get from the other side anyway. But yeah, that goes back to the first district, as everyone knows. And it curls around just like how it does in the first district. You feel like, yeah, that's right there, even though it's not in the same world space. That's a very important thing to talk about. Here's another example. Like, that goes straight to the second district, and you think, oh, that makes sense because that's right there. Even though these are all separate world spaces, and if you jumped way up to the top and you like did a glide across, you wouldn't be in that room, but you feel like you would. That's good world design. And then here we've got even better. Oh, Goofy, do you have to be right there? But like, we've got these signs that are showing. You can see other things in Traverse Town, like handbags, suits, dresses, hot dogs, jewelry shop. We've seen all of those already. Look at that, they're advertising hot dogs so brazenly. But you know, like connectivity, I feel like if you're walking around the alleyways, you're being directed to go to the shopping centre. Advertisements. Traverse Town just has it all, man. And yeah, let's look at the Dalmatian's house. So, of course, I've got all the puppies. So every puppy's here now, all doing their own thing. And like I said in my other video, I think it's important that... Well, not important, but I feel like it's a really nice detail to have. When you collect them, you see your progress. You see them all happy and you're like, yes, I've saved them from being stuck inside a chest. Rather than just Pongo and Perdito just like having a list and saying, yeah, you know, they're all there somewhere. No, here you can see the fruits of your efforts, basically. It goes from being empty and sad to being joyful and like full of life. And just look at all these sketches everywhere. Isn't that nice? I will say one thing about these rooms though, which is a little bit to the detriment, something the game actually does wrongly. There's no like sound effects. There's like all these dogs, you can see them barking and stuff, but there's no barking noises. It's just silent other than the music, which feels like a kind of disconnect. Like when you think about it, you're like, wait, why is it silent in here? Why are they not making noise? So that kind of shows you how important sound effects are to the game. Oh, and here we have our little follower. I don't think the sound effects ruin these rooms. I just think it's a slight criticism of them, I guess. Here's a little following puppy. Come on. But even like wine over there, like it feels like a house for humans that the dogs have definitely just inherited. I don't think they're going to be drinking that wine. And I have to wonder how they put up, like, where are the humans to put up these pictures as well? Just Kingdom Hearts things, I guess. But yeah, just a cozy little fireplace, pictures everywhere. That clock, which isn't stuck at 6:54, so I guess that's just a Gizmo Shop thing. I'm just taking a look around at all the different details and what the puppies are doing, because it's just interesting. So I don't want to talk too much over because there's not too much to say. I mean, here's the last room, the music room, piano room as they call it. Look at the little yeah, see, look at the little bits of paper or whatever they're in. Just like tiny details. Like, look at that. I just... oh, sorry, it just really gets me excited to see these things. It's ridiculous, really, but... It's the level of care, I guess. It's the attention to detail. Hello, puppy. He's just staring into space. Yeah, there's honestly not too much I can actually say about these details. They kind of speak for themselves. I think the main nice thing is just all the artwork of the puppies that's everywhere. That is just really... I don't know, that just makes me kind of happy to see. But that's enough said about the alleyway. Oh, by the way, there's a huge pipe there. I don't know why. Such random stuff. But let's go into the underground bit. And I guess the Zero District that Merlin says in KH2. I assume he's talking about here. Now, there's not too much in here. I want to look at these. Oh, look at these little lights though. That's kind of cute. These little like glowy lights. I don't know if they're... Perhaps they're things like fireflies, or perhaps they're just glowy bits of crystal, you know. And then the mural here, which started off as a sun and turns to a moon, quite mysterious. Kyrie even says it's like hypnotizing. Now Sid hid his gummy block in there, but did he like make that, or was that already there and he found a way to hide a block in there 9 years ago as well, he said. Just a little bit of mystery and depth to the world, you know. It feels like there's more going on beneath the surface. It feels like the world itself has given that mural, like someone didn't paint that, the world made that. And here we have Merlin's like lab. All sorts of things in here, everything you expect to see. Is that... Oh, that's a creepy little puppet. What the flip? Oh, I didn't notice that before. That's scary. A rocket. That's a bit sci-fi. Tons and tons of books, of course. And, yeah, I mean, all standard stuff you'd expect to see. Potions. Of course, over here's the fairy godmother and her little carriage for some reason. Just another, like, Disney reference in Traverse Town, which is full of them. It's a perfect place for making these sort of references because it's a refugee place for everyone. Up here, Merlin's like tea set and everything. Oh, look, look at this. Nice counting of letters here. We can go A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. And then he stopped. Did he give up? I don't know. That looks like an atom. That's quite sciencey. And of course, if we look upstairs, now there's actually a room upstairs, which I'm sure everyone knows about because you can practice magic, but we may as well go up there and see what's there and have a proper look around. Oh, I forgot I haven't got all these things yet. Yeah, there's Donna's Dream Rod. Something you can very easily miss, but you know, it's worth talking to everybody in KH1. You know, go back and talk to people because you may find stuff. Now, is there much up here? Okay, so no, it's pretty empty because it's just a practice place, but I mean, it's pretty cool. Like, there's the obviously chimney. Well, not really a chimney, I guess, just a spire. And the walls have got this like sea thing going on, like a seascape. You see the waves there, and again, it's kind of nighttime. Another moon. The whole thing about Traverse Town is just night and moon and stuff like that, and stars. And yeah, I mean, I didn't actually do this when I played through the game, so it's telling me that how to do it. But we're not going to do that, of course. It doesn't change how the room looks. Let's go out. Did you notice there's a little bits of rock that were there as well? Because, or like rocks or something, some sort of debris, something explosive might have happened, who knows. So let's just go outside now and see what we can see here. Mostly an empty, like cavern kind of place. Although I do like, you can tell it's windy here, but look at this. Look at this thing moving around. Like, of course you can't sense the wind yourself, but that's going to show you it is. And let's draw attention to this, these owls. These owl statues and such are all over his house, and it's a reference to the Sword in the Stone because he has a pet owl in that. And thanks to this comment for showing that to me because I didn't know about that, so thank you. But yeah, his house is just wacky. I like that the front entrance is like blocked off and there's a hole in the side to get into instead. Why? I mean, why not? Like, it's just because. Now if we jump in here, oh god, we have to swim back now. A nice platforming thing here too. Like, I mean, it's not hard once you're used to it, of course, but when you're a kid, trying to jump across moving platforms is quite stressful, to be honest. Especially when you haven't got a high jump yet. And then just, I don't know, there's, look at this. We can see the entire house. I think it's nice to actually have a look at the entire house. We don't really usually do that. Very windy, like there's all sorts of stuff moving about. And it's logical to how the house is built when you're inside. Like you've got this bottom bit and then there was the top part and then the big spired roof. So again, it works. Like the inside matches up to the outside and it makes you feel like it's real. Not really anything very interesting up here. I did actually try and see if I could like even jump up there, but I don't think I can. No, that was a bit of a futile effort, to be honest. But now it's time to go into the 3rd district and finish off this tour of Traverse Town. Okay, here we are in the 3rd district. Definitely a small one, but it's because it's mostly a boss arena. Now here's the entrance to Merlin's house, which you can get in early if you see that you use fire on the door. Otherwise you'll go there when Sid tells you to. Of course, stuff like freezing ain't gonna work. There's fire on the front, but you know, when you're a kid you didn't always make that connection, to be fair, so I wouldn't blame people for missing that. And then here we have the fountain I've already mentioned in my cool details video. It's just the quintessential Kingdom Hearts 1 detail that like most people know. It's even on the world icon when you come into Traverse Town. It's even there. That's how important they obviously think that is. And yeah, otherwise, 3rd district. I like there's quite a lot of almost Christmassy lights everywhere. There's little strings of tiny bulbs. I think that's quite cute. And if we go over here, we can see almost a sort of rudimentary map and showing how they're linked. I mean, it's the very basic, you know, it just says 2 and 1 and 3, and then there's Merlin's place. And there's more stars and moons. And over here, of course, we have the connection to the Gizmo Shop. You have to use thunder on it. Another piece of using magic to interact with the world. Magic's not just for combat in this game, it's for interactivity, it's for utility, you know? Kind of like the chests that you have to use gravity on in Hollow Bastion. That's another example of that. And looking around, we can see more of the weird, wacky, colourful aspects of Traverse Town. The 3rd district has it in droves, absolute loads of it. Up here, like there's a sign, 2nd district. That 2nd looks really like basic type font. And then up there we've got, of course, where you can get to from the 2nd district and where Dawn and Goofy landed on you at the start of the game. And of course, here we also have the small house, which used to be the vacant house before Leon and the others kind of took it over. And now poor Kairi just sits in here on her own. But yeah, look, it's obviously barely done. There's boxes still full of stuff that haven't been opened. It's barely even a house, it's just one room, but it's pretty cozy. I look at the wallpaper like coming apart there. It doesn't look new. There's just like a string light put on top of it. It's obviously a house. It's like a house that's just about to be renovated. I don't know. Like they've just put some furniture down and like, okay, we'll decorate this. Let's just get set up. There's some like, that looks like Saturn. There's a planet there and some stars. And then the thing, look at this. This is kind of cool. There's like a Z and an N. Again, does that mean something? Did the person who designed that like have something in mind when they drew that? Or did they just pull it out of thin air? Who knows? Here's Kairi. We can talk to her last time you get to see her before the end of the game. Sorry you have to stay in here on your own, Kairi. That's got to be pretty scary when there's enemies spawning outside, but maybe they only spawn for Sora. But yeah, small house, probably the most like ramshackle, rundown place in Traverse Town, or at least one of the houses that is most like that. And well, this is pretty cool little floor detail here. Don't really look at that before, but yeah, that's really it for the 3rd district. There's not a lot in terms of details to really look at. It's just really nice looking. It has got its own thing going on compared to here in the 1st district. So that's pretty much Traverse Town. I think I covered nearly every detail I could find. There might have been a couple of things that I missed. If there is any, please tell me. Like, say anything that's interesting to you in the comments. But yeah, honestly, definitely one of my favorite, probably my 2nd favorite world in the whole series. My first would be Hollow Bastion. But it's got to be the most richly detailed world, right? It's got to have the most things to look at, the most secrets. Hollow Bastion, for example, is more of a platforming and mechanic world with lots of intricate puzzles and that sort of thing. Traverse Town's easier to explore than that. But there's a lot you can go into first person mode and just look at and see. Because of its condensed nature and because of the level design, everything connects to each other, you know. This room connects to that room, but you can go into this house and this house and this house, and that goes to the alleyway, and that goes underneath Merlin's house, that comes up, that goes into the 3rd district again. There's like so many different paths you can take, and I think that's the beauty of this world. It's excellent level design in terms of connecting rooms. It's some freedom and that you glide around and go on top of rooftops and that sort of thing. The coziness, the lights, the general atmosphere, the people in it. and just chock full of secrets and hidden things. You know, the postcards, it's a mechanic that they draw attention to, but they hide them in nice ways and not just chests just on the floor there for you to get. You know, they're hidden and you have to actually think about what you're doing. You have to go, okay, I'm missing like what, 3 now? Where could they be? Oh, I can use thunder on this. And then, but what does that mean? And then you go to Gizmo Shop and you're like, oh wait, things are moving. Oh wait, why is this clock got an interact thing? That's just cool. The rest of KH1, I mean, I was thinking about doing video maybe for each world, or like maybe put them into a batch of videos or something. But the rest of the game is not as detailed as this world. There is a fair share of details to see, but Traverse Town is just so dense and full of them that I just had to make its own video on. And this is that video, so a very long one, I know, but it's just so much to look through, and I'd rather not split it up and kind of water down the overall message. But that's all I'm going to say about this, because I could ramble on for way too long, and I think we've gone on long enough. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.